4, 5. We're going to do the Urza train again. So mystery card coming, able to cast it. We'll see what this is going to be. Hiya! Abrupt Decay. All right. Kill that.
It's not bad. Not a bad get.
Yep. Get the Lave back. Trigger. Draw a card. Don't really want a lot of cards in your hand when you have Bridge, but it doesn't seem too tough to empty the hand, or at least close to it.
Well, also, Raffield's in a pretty good position to block against a Noble Hierarch wearing a sword, too.
Mm-hmm. Coda will come in, knock Jace down to 2. Yep. And now Rountree's going to sacrifice the Windswept Heath. What you can tell, and I understand we're only in round number 2 here, but these games go a little bit slower.
It's a different world.
It's a different format. It's much more honest.
Faithless Shielding encouraged a lot of decks that were extremely fast and not that interactive. And a lot of the ways that people tried to fight through it, it's just this arm race of being even faster and more non-interactive. There's a lot of powerful decks out there, a lot of powerful cards that just couldn't hang in a world that looked like that, and Chase the Mind Sculptor is kind of like top of that list. I think another thing that's going to work in both Stoneforge Mystic's favor and Jace the Mind Sculptor's favor to slow the format down is Force of Negation. So good alongside those two cards.
I think that card is going to be real good.
Really good.
Plus, you're just going to have some extra cards to throw away to it.
Right.
You're seeing a lot of cards with Jace and Cold Wolves and various other things.
Yeah, mana's the bottleneck. It's about keeping your head above water for the first 4 or 5 turns. Yeah. It's not, do I have enough cards to work with once I've taken over? That's never the choke point.
So Roundtree's done some brainstorming. He's got a couple copies of Stoneforge Mystic in hand. He'll sacrifice a Windswept Heath. A Snow-Covered Plains is the choice. Let's see what comes next. Perhaps there's a path hanging out. No, Giver of Runes. Okay. I'm super into that card. Here's Teferi. Okay. That one's obviously good because it's Teferi, but it's also great with Spell Queller. There's another Thopter. And now we're going to head back over to Chad Raffield.
And you can see with Rountree trying to get the Teferi and plus trying to set up something where he can overpower all the lot pieces in one turn. He can't kind of do it incrementally.
There's the Lave again. Drawing a card, will Chad. And now here's Ancient Stirrings. So was having difficulty finding Sword of the Meek, and won't get the opportunity to find it now because of the Spell Queller on the Stirrings. All right. Might be time to spin the wheel here. Could spike the sword. That would most likely be game over. I can't imagine a way that Rountree gets out of that if there's infinite 1/1s and infinite life. So if you're Colin, you're just hoping to dodge. Hiya! Nile Spellbomb. All right.
It's hard to dodge forever, though, because even the misses are more mana or more stuff to work with.
3, 4, 5. Spin it to win it. How many swords we got in this deck? Just one Sword of the Meek. All right. Well, a little light on that.
3 Wars, 4 Stirrings.
Yep. Not impossible to find.
No. It's a lot of different ways to search for.
Decay. Kill that. Still can't play the Ancient Stirrings though, because of the Teferi on the battlefield. So that's gonna whammy that.
Are you sure he can even cast the Decay?
Well, he's playing it on his turn.
feel like this has come up. There's something. I'm talking about the.
Just casting Decay on the Spell Queller?
I'm talking about the static power on Teferi, not the fact that there was a plus.
No, so you're asking if Chad can actually just play Abrupt Decay on Colin's Spell Queller because of Teferi on the battlefield. Because when you're activating the Urza ability, are you playing it as an instant?
Is it any time you could cast a sword? Like, there's some weirdness that comes up with the finale, right? I don't know if that's covered in the same sort of rules heuristics.
That's a good question, but I believe the Spell Queller will be staying on the battlefield now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
No, it looks like the Spell Queller is going to die.
But you can't cast the Stirrings.
Yes, you definitely can't cast the Stirrings. That one's unquestionable. And it appears that the players
I wouldn't describe it as unquestionable.
Well, that one...
There's some bizarre... Teferi's got some bizarre...
Everyone kind of knows that interaction at this point.
Yeah.
So, because part of what you do is when you have Teferi and Spell Queller, you Teferi back your Spell Queller, you bounce it, and then the card that they would get back, they can't even cast. And then you just keep, moseying along. And then you have your Spell Queller to eat something else.
Every week you just discover a new way that Teferi
is completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
There's the level 1 way of just its rate and it's how good it is against cards. And then there's the level 2 way, which is how well do you know the rules?
Yes. Yes. Misty Rainforest will be sacrificed here by Colin. He'll get a snow-covered island. A lot of work to be done here for our Invitational Champion. Teferi is going to bounce Urza. Draw a card.
While we have a little slight lull in the action.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to 2 special viewers.
Yeah.
My children, Vivian and Griffin. Good morning.
Oh, wow. Are they watching?
They are watching.
Well, hey.
I love you both. Hope you're having a good morning.
Hey, gang. There's a Sword of Light and Shadow on an Ice Fang Codal.
Hanging out with the SETI Bear.
Nice. And now Giver of Runes is going to give it pro a color, and we're going to hit you.
And here's the thing that Rountree was kind of starting to set up over the course of multiple turns, be able to kind of power through all the lock pieces in one go of it to start actually making some inroads in the battlefield.
And getting a Spell Queller back.
Yep.
And you know how much Urza costs?
4.
How? Eat that. You try to recast that, I'm just going to eat that. We're brewing up a little something nice here. I like it. This battlefield is all sorts of gummed up. You wouldn't have seen this in Modern a week ago. Hogak would have killed both of these people by now. There's an island. This is an Astrolabe. That's fine. Draw a snow-covered forest.
Battlefields could use a little tidying up.
Perhaps. Urza, how? That belongs to me now. Spell Queller was going to eat that. A lot of artifacts here for Chad. Now he'll draw a card here with the old Nile Spell Bomb. Weirdly having difficulty emptying his hand, is Chad.
Well, there's been a lot of cantripping and a lot of uses of his mana to just accrue more stuff with Urza, some of which cantrips.
You're going to draw a card with Mind Stone, not getting any emptier.
I mean, at this point, Raffield might just feel like he's got to just dig for sword ASAP.
Well, what this means is that something wearing a sword on Roundtree's side will be able to keep attacking. So, we head back over to Colin now. Oh, we've been given a tip. Todd Anderson is off the plane heading for an Uber. Mm-hmm. He may make it for round 3. Jace is going to do a little brainstorm. 2, 3. The people wanted Jace unbanned, they got it. The people wanted Stoneforge Mystic unbanned, they got it. And look how much fun it is.
Yep. Going to be really light on the backup matches this tournament, I feel like.
Shaheen, you got it, man. You've been complaining to Forsyth for years. You finally got the modern you wanted, and you're not here. I'm disappointed. There's a Horizon Canopy. Oh, the Ranger Captain of Heels.
You'll go get the Caterpillar.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's that Caustic Caterpillar. Chad Raffield going to take a look at the Caustic Caterpillar. 1 mana, 1/1. 1 and a green, sacrifice the Caterpillar, blow up an artifact or enchantment. You throw that in combination with the Sword of Light and Shadow, you got really something brewing there. That's a lot of that.
That's infinite.
Caterpillar going to blow up the Thopter Foundry.
Well, I mean, no way for Raffield to recur at this point. I think there's a, from Rountree's perspective, you know, the thing you just got to protect is getting comboed out.
Giver of Runes is going to give the Ice Fang Kodal, pardon me, protection, beatdowns, Exalted Trigger, rebuy the Caterpillar. We are demonstrating the loop. And now going to sacrifice the Ranger Captain.
You get that back. There's no more spells.
Colin may have found a little bit of a combination deck here.
Tap out.
There's Urza. Nah.
No.
Nah, I don't think so. So eat that with Spell Queller, thanks. Yo, I'm into this deck on the left.
We're done.
I'm into this deck on the left.
We're done. All stitched up.
This is a Pithing Needle? You better name the Caterpillar. Oh, you can't do that.
No. It's locked. It's a lock. It's a lock.
You can't do that because of the...
And the nature of the
lock... Is this your fault? Did you do this?
And all right, the nature of the lock is such that it incidentally answers Ensnaring Bridge. Because Raffield will be unable to remove cards from his hand for the remainder of the game.
We have Ty Thomason near the booth here, who's won an open here before. You're playing this?
Yes.
And Bernie?
No, just me and Colin.
Just you and Colin. What's your record? All right, fair enough. This looks nice so far.
It's like we built it and then we realized the lock was in there.
Okay, they built it and realized the lock was in there afterward. I'm into this. Ty Thomason, former Open winner. I have a Ty Thomason story I'll tell you. Actually, oddly enough, Shaheen and I covered this Open. That's how long ago it was. Ty Thomason won a Legacy Open. It was the first time that True Name Nemesis was legal to play. He figured out True Name Nemesis plus equipment before his opponents did.
Yes, see, it's interesting because True Name Nemesis was in a Commander product, suggesting that it was made for multiplayer.
Yes.
But in reality, much more powerful in one-on-one. Interesting how that one worked out.
So all tournament long, Ty was equipping True Nemesis with weapons, and no one else in the room was. It was one of the easiest Legacy Open wins I've ever seen in my 7 years of doing this. A sort of Feast and Famine has now been grabbed. Yeah, so I guess there's a lock of like hitting your opponent and then just getting back Ranger Captain and locking him out of spells.
Oh yeah.
Until the game ends. I'm really into that.
Now the bridge is back because of Teferi.
Well, that's gonna get blown up.
That's not. You can't. Don't even have to bother with blowing it up. You just loop your Ranger Captain.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Why blow that up when you can start going after the astrolabes, spinning the ball on your finger a little bit? That's gone. That's gone.
What else we got here? There's the Caterpillar is back. That little bugger. Giver of Runes is going to give the Kodal protection. It's wearing 2 swords now?
Yeah.
And one of them taps all your lands? Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It doesn't work that way because you
Oh, no!
If you give it pro artifacts, the swords fall off, right?
Well, no, also, you can't... Oh, no. We may have missed something here. The Giver was giving the Kodal protection. But the Giver's white, and the Sword of Light and Shadow is white. We missed that. That happened twice, I think. I think that was accidental. I think everybody missed that. All right, awkward. We're going to head back over to Chad now. We were having so much fun. All right, here's an Urza. This new format's complicated.
Pithy Needle, I imagine, is going to name the Caterpillar.
Probably
here.
has named the Caterpillar. Yep, Caterpillar down. Was that on your bingo board?
No.
Pithy Needle naming Caustic Caterpillar. All right, another ensnaring. No, there's the previous ensnaring bridge. All right, take a look at this battlefield here for Chad. Bridge, Mox, couple Astrolabes, Needle, some Thopters. We're going to activate Teferi.
Or Urza, rather.
Or Urza, excuse me. Couple constructs from Urza that are enormous. Well, there's the Sword of the Meek, but there's no Thopter Foundry to go along with it, I don't think. 2, 3.
But he's got to look at it.
4. All right, so tap 5 artifacts via Urza. These battlefields are a mess. Yep, you got to use the sword to tap it. All right. Let's Urza again. You can't even see the Urza. We promise it's there. Top card. Mox. Might as well. Who's the other Mox? Sure. All right, back to Colin, it looks like. There we go. Now you can see Urza at home. Batter Skull. Sure. Going to start with the Jace activation. 1, 2, 3. Two cards will be going back here in just a moment. All right, sacrifice a Heath. Dig a land out of the deck. Whatever Rountree is looking for, I imagine he will eventually find, because that's how Jace plus fetch lands work. His Caterpillar's locked down by the Needle. I got a nice King Fodal, Ice, Fang, Coldal. I'm going to get there. With a Sword of Light and Shadow and Feast and Famine. So pro-white, pro-black, pro-green. An active Giver of Runes. 2 Spell Quellers. Birds of Paradise. Active Stoneforge Mystic. Ah, sacrifice the Horizon Canopy. Sure. Path to Exile on the Urza. All right, that's gone. Stoneforge, Search, Batter Skull. Yo, Jerry's going to win one of these modern tournaments if he's allowed to do this.
Thopter Sword?
Just Stoneforge, dude.
Oh, just Stoneforge.
Just Callblade, V4, with Giver of Runes.
Wouldn't mess around with that.
No? That card seems sweet to me. So the Giver of Runes looks like it's going to get some beatdowns here. It's going to push Stoneforge through. All right, done. All right, now we get to look at Chad's battlefield. Gearing up for a long game 1. Did he draw Thopter Foundry? Oh, this game isn't going to get any shorter.
No, we've now entered stage 2. Oh.
Does he have an answer? Oh, a Spell Queller, timely. To eat that. Patrick has now put his head under the table. Watery Grave enters the battlefield tap, partner.
Gotcha.
Chad out of cards. I think there's an ensnaring bridge down there somewhere.
Underneath the needle.
It's underneath the needle? Okay, great. Got it. Jace is going to brainstorm. 2 cards will go back here for Rountree.
No backups.
No,
Got no backup.
no backup match? No? Ah, the Ranger Captain is back. What's that going to find? I believe it was a Noble Hierarch. It could be that dastardly Birds of Paradise you were making fun of.
Well, the Noble gives him a way to maybe make some sort of attack through an ensnaring bridge.
Sure. It was Noble Hierarch that Colin found. There's a Codal draw. 2 mana. Codal draw. What are we looking for? What kind of outs do we have from this bridge? Do they exist?
Main deck detention, deputy of detention.
All right, got it.
3 copies of Teferi Time Raveler.
Okay. All right. So
Ultimate with Jace.
okay. So plenty of outs.
He can move around it. It's
Yep.
not. I wouldn't say plenty, but he's not just beat by this. There are workarounds. Definitely complicated by the fact that his Cost of Caterpillar is shut out.
Birds of Paradise will get pro a color. Beatdowns. Thanks to the Giver of Runes. Bauble. We're going to sacrifice the Ranger Captain of Eos. Ooh. Prismatic Vista. And he drew, did Chad, a copy of Whir.
Can't do it right now because of the deputy.
So now he can do it on, so Chad can do it on Colin's turn.
Right.
He can Whir for Thopter Foundry. Here's a Jace. 1, 2, 3. The Ranger Captain of Eos stopped him from doing it last time. All right, 3 mana. Ranger. Searching up Noble.
Right. This is the path, right? You're trying to dial up another 0 power creatures that they can attack into an empty-handed and ensnaring bridge, and then use the Exalted triggers to try to push over the top, get some damage through.
Yep.
But all of this sort of incremental progress is going to be for naught here in a moment if Raffield can just tutor up another copy of Thopter Foundry and just gain a ton.
Noble
Yep.
Hierarch. Breeding Pool enters the battlefield tapped. Multiple Giver of Runes that are active. We'll use one on the Codal. Beatdowns. Sacrifice the Vista. Snow-covered island. That's another card I think is going to be pretty good. The Vista.
Oh, yeah. Another big winner.
Yeah. All right, it's time to whir. For it looks like a lot. Whoa. Whoa. What's this about?
Is Whir X or less or just X?
I believe it's X or less.
Yeah, then.
Oh, we're going to get the the spine?
Oh, man. All right.
Well, we can beat the spine, right? Giver of Runes can. That's pro colorless, not pro artifacts. But then that's still the same. Yeah. Yeah, we beat the spine. We beat the spine with the Giver, baby. You gotta go get the Thopter Foundry, man. Oh, well. And now we sacrifice the Ranger. Chad draws a card. Can't play any spells. Can play that Breeding Pool, though. It's got a Mox Opal. Can't cast. Nope. Don't think you can cast that.
Not through the Ranger.
Not through the Ranger danger. Dead. Rountree wins a very complicated and robust game one. New cards out in force.
A ton of new cards. No shortage of new action.
No game would look like that a week ago.
No.
A clogged battlefield like that? Well, welcome to Stoneforge Mystics Modern now, folks. Let's take a look at the sideboards. What these players are working with, excuse me. That was a slog. Okay, here we go, Sultai Wurza. I got 2 Tezzeret, Ancient of Bolas, 2 Psy, Master Thopterist, 2 Assassin's Trophy, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Torpor Orbs, 5 one-ofs, an Unmoored Ego, Surgical Extraction, the Defense Grid, the Dead of Winter, and a Grafdigger's Cage.
Really awesome matchup for Torpor Orb. That's the top one here. I could see wanting to have a little bit more removal in the deck, maybe with the copies of Assassin's Trophy. I like Dead of Winter in the matchup as well, but Torpor Orb, haven't seen a whole lot of that, but Rountree's deck just chock full of creatures with Enter the Battlefield triggers that Torpor Orb should be great against.
Let's go to Colin Rountree's sideboard. He's got 2 Damping Spheres, 2 Unified Will, 2 Knight of Autumn, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Ashok, Dream Render, a Supreme Verdict, a Winds of Abandon, and a Gaddock Teeg.
Like the Gaddock Teeg, like the 2 copies of Rest in Peace, like the Unified Wills. Knight of Autumn's good, Ceremonious Rejection's good. I think that Rountree's got a lot of stuff here trying to sort of devote it to being better on the battlefield against other creature decks. He can get away from pretty easily. Even Stoneforge Mystic might just be too slow and ineffectual for this matchup.
Well, those are the options there for both players. The clock is a-ticking, and if Chad Raffield wants to work himself maybe to a draw here, he's going to have to really get moving. These players will start game number 2 in just a moment. But for now, we're going to very quickly talk about the StarCityGames.com YouTube page, where you can see a whole bunch of our stuff, including replays of this tournament once we upload it later next week. We got Versus Live with Corey Baumeister and Ross Merriam, and if you watched on Thursday, you saw Dylan Donegan come and hang out. Commander Versus with Justin Parnell, Jonathan Suarez, Stephen Green, and Jeremy Knoll. The Flashback Series, the best of the SCG Tour, and a whole bunch more. Subscribe today at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of over 150,000 subscribers as Nick Miller is queuing up a deck tech to our left here, partner. Sitting down with Evan Whitehouse. Not sure what Evan's playing here this weekend, but Nick will be working on that.
Caught a glimpse of Prismatic Vista.
I think that card's going to be pretty darn good. I do. But it really does feel like, because Hogak is gone now and Faithless Looting is gone and Stoneforge Mystic is here, it honestly feels like Modern Horizons got re-released.
Yes.
There's Giver of Runes. What do we see? What do we see just in that match? Giver of Runes, Urza, Ice Fang, Kodal, Arkham's Astrolabe. I mean, that's 4 cards.
There's a Hex Drinker in Rountree's deck.
5. That's from that set.
Yeah.
Prismatic Vista, 6. Giver of Runes, 7.
Ranger Captain,
8. That's what the set was supposed to do, was inject life into this format. However, they made a little bit of an error operator with the 8/8 trample. That cost
was a
0.
little bit much.
Maybe a little.
But I mean, the format, I think that, so Hogak was so over the top.
Are you sure?
That it sort of, I think, warped the conversation a little bit. We were, in my opinion, at a boiling over point with Faithless Looting even before Modern Horizons. That was just the last little bit of it.
I agree with that.
There is a reasonable case to ban that card for years, and certainly prior to Modern Horizons, and then I think everyone got their fill of the graveyard stuff after Hogak ran wild for a little while.
I feel bad that you never got to GAC one person.
I played against a lot of GAC.
Yeah, how was that?
Good. I was definitely winning more than half my matches online.
Wow, look at you. How many you play against a lot of turn 2 Hogaks? You ain't beating that.
No, you know how big a Swiss Spear is sometimes?
5, 6.
Bigger?
Stop.
Bigger.
Stop it. You need to stop.
Here's the problem with Hogak in that matchup.
No, there is no problem.
It can only attack or block, and they needed to do both.
Play another one.
Sometimes that's how you. That accounted for a lot of my losses when I could loop it.
Bobble.
Also, I'm
Delta?
just assuming my opponents were just broadly incompetent in a way that you were not.
That's might be reasonable.
Right.
Might be reasonable.
So, Torpor Orb.
Like, if I know I'm getting paired against you, I am mulliganing for Hogak on turn 2. No other option.
Yeah.
Everything else is too slow. I do see a Torpor Orb in the deck. What are we looking for here with this Delta?
I think a lot of my wins could be attributed to, if I had to sort of, what do they have in common? Mixture of win the die roll and opponent forgot about a Lava Dart at a key moment.
Ooh. Ooh.
That one stings.
That does sting. Breeding Pool enters the battlefield tapped. We're going to head back over to Chad. He's got an island now, and now the Torpor Orb.
Let's walk through it, shall we?
What does it shut down?
Ranger Captain of Eos, Deputy of Detention, Icebank Coil, Spell Queller, Stoneforge Mystic. No big deal.
Just a couple hits.
Sideboard Knight of Autumn.
Just a couple of hits.
Where did this one come from?
Yep.
But this is the, I mean, I guess if you're expecting a Stoneforge Mystic metagame, then why not?
That's right. There's a Giver of Runes. It gets you for 1.
I'm sure not the card that Rountree was hoping to run into this early in the tournament.
That is true. We'll go back over to Chad. He'll sacrifice the Misty Rainforest. What land does he want to dig out of here now? He's got something in mind. At least we thought he did. There's the Watery Grave. The Sultai colors are online for Sultai Wurza.
Want all the Todd Anderson fans out there, all the Todd heads to know.
What's that?
Got a message from him. He's landed, he's in an Uber.
I said that 15 minutes ago.
Well, he messaged us.
I said that literally 15 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Do you not listen when I talk?
A lot of this I've sort of just blocked out.
I figured. There's a Jace. Look, Giver of Runes doesn't tap for mana, but Noble Hierarch does. Fix that. Now Giver of Runes is going to give beatdowns. Jace has 3 counters. We're going to go back over to Chad. Bauble, target, take a look. Leave it on top. Draw a new card. We'll Chad Raffield. Draw a card for his turn. Couple of lands. There's a Vista. Sack the Vista. Get an island of the snow-covered variety. About to cast an Urza. Here is Urza. I don't know about that token.
I don't know about that
I don't know about that token, bud.
I don't know about that construct. Giver of Ruin, Sword of Light and Shadow. Not always great
Not
together.
always a combo.
Torpor
no.
Orb Urza.
Not always a combo. We're all learning together is
Right.
what we're doing. We're all learning together here on day 1 of our brand new modern format.
Seeing a lot of concepts that are maybe about 80% baked.
Yes.
They could use a little bit more time in the oven.
Yeah, that sounds true. That sounds true. 2 cards going to go back from the Jace Brainstorm. Path to Exile, huh? 2 mana. Rest in peace. Okay. Follow up. Hierarch. Beatdowns in for 3. Not a bad little turn.
Something that I like about Rountree's list here, the copies of Jace and Teferi Time Raveler, make it so you have ways to kind of worm yourself out of a lot of different bad spots. The cards are easy to justify playing on their own. They're really powerful, and when you're on the front foot, the bouncing's really good, especially with equipment. But we've seen Rountree use Jace and Teferi to good effect to just sort of work around the lock pieces that Raffield's been bringing, even game number 1.
Assassin's Trophy will take care of the rest in peace. So Rountree will get to dig up a basic. It'll be a snow-covered island. And now that is a Sword of the Meek. Thopter Foundry plus Sword of the Meek are here. They are the 1-2 punch.
Hey, walk me through this. You know the rules better than me.
Oh, this should be good.
Does Torpor Orb prevent a sword from returning from the
No.
battlefield?
No, it does not.
Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger? That's not an ability that's triggering because of a creature entering the battlefield?
I'm pretty sure it isn't. How's that sound?
Let's bring up Sword of the Meek.
Let's bring it up. Birds of Paradise. All right, sacrifice this.
If a 1/1 creature that could not be equipped by Sword of the Meek enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek to the battlefield when the ability resolves.
Well, I think that question's been answered. It's just in the bin now. All right, so you said something about the oven baking. All right, well, yeah, that's tough.
Strange times.
That's
Windswept
tough.
Fields.
That's tough all the way around, I think. It's tough for everybody involved. All right, so now the game's about blowing up that Torpor Orb. I think there's an Abrupt Decay in hand to blow that up.
Well, it's too late to do that. You've already made your bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best.
It's got to play through it for me.
What if you sack the orb? Do you get the sword back? What about that?
I would assume yes.
Okay.
Because the Torpor Orb's in the graveyard at the point where when the 1/1's entering the battlefield.
Well, we're learning together. We're all learning together. That's all that's happening here. New format.
No backups.
No backup match.
No backup match. No
Got
backup match.
Got it. Got it. This stuff is all very confusing. It's a very confusing card game.
Well, that I got. As someone who's played with Torpor Orb a lot.
I haven't. Jace, Brainstorm in main phase 1 here for Rountree. 2 cards going back. Giver of Runes, thinking beatdowns. Sack the orb. Yeah! Yeah!
Although, unfortunately, sacking the orb, bad news for Raffield, as Rountree's deck is built almost entirely around creatures with enter the battlefield triggers.
True.
We'll see how it plays out.
Block. That creature has exalted twice, so it's a 3/4. That token's dead because a 3/4 beats a 2/3 in combat. You get it.
Yep.
You get it.
That's also rules knowledge.
You get it. All right, let's see what main phase 2 holds.
Yeah, here we go.
The Deputy.
Now here comes the wave of enters the battlefield trigger creatures.
We'll start there.
Yep. 3 mana up, your turn.
Rountree now thinking Stoneforge.
That's also a triggered ability that occurred via a creature entering the battlefield.
That's correct.
Now unlocked.
Abrupt Decay is probably going to get Spell Quellered if I had to hazard a guess. I could be wrong, but there's the Spell Queller.
You may ask, how is this legal? Because Spell Queller is not countering the spell.
Mm-hmm.
It is exiling it.
That's right.
Totally different.
That's totally different. Totally different. This game changed once the Torpor Orb left. Crazy.
There's been a lot of twists and turns in this
There has. A lot of ups and downs. Let's see what comes next here for Chad. Another Abrupt Decay?
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, one
See
down.
you later, Spell Queller.
Now then.
The chain.
Oh, yeah.
Bang. Give me this back. Thanks. Last card in hand, Spine of Isha.
So now there's both just to confirm, no Torpor Orb and nothing locking out the graveyard. The combo is established right now?
I believe the combo is established, yes. Rountree just knocking Lance onto the floor. He's out of control. 2 cards going back from the Jace. Play a Windswept Teeth. 3 mana. Is it time to play a sword?
Perhaps Knight of Autumn?
That would work. There's Knight of Autumn. Good call, partner.
Another
Yep, go ahead.
ability that triggered through a creature entering the battlefield.
Yes. Gonna make a couple of bozos here. Four Thopters, one of them will wear a Sword of the Meek. All right, Ranger Captain. Uh-oh. I think I know what time it is. Maybe that little dastardly caterpillar. Oh, no. Who knew this one would be so important?
It's been a good matchup for it. Well, you know, if you're expecting Stoneforge Mystic to be popular, it's a low opportunity cost main deck answer to a Batter Skull or Sword or what have you.
Or something else. Prismatic Vista.
So Ranger Captain got used to lock out. Wouldn't matter anyway because Giver of Runes just covers the spine.
Now we're going to put the sword in. Spine looking especially bad in the face of Giver of Runes.
It's underperformed.
Yeah.
in a sea of underperformance, it has stuck out as especially underperforming.
Jason's going to brainstorm. We're going into extra turns. 2 cards going back.
Remember that Rountree's up a game too, so as long as he prevents death, then you know he's fine.
Is it time for maybe a Kodal? Or are we going to put a sword on something? Ah, the Knight is going to wear a sword. No, Colin's just trying to figure out how to attack. All right, we'll see. Let's see what the Giver is giving protection. This is all so complicated. All right, there's a block. The Giver gave something protection. I don't really know what.
Well, you can't give a pro artifact or else the sword falls off.
Of course. But all I know is the Giver is tapped and a creature got blocked, which is awesome. Now that you know the spine's going to come in now.
Yeah, the coast is clear. Get that dastardly caterpillar.
That's right. What do we have here? Ooh, a little whir. And how? Unified Will.
Yep.
How? I have more creatures than you, so this
7
is a
to
hard
3
counter.
is actually a pretty uncommon.
That's not the number pairing you always see. All right. Many a turn. You seem a little antsy there, bud.
I'm not antsy.
No, that's not the word you'd use.
It's just, you know, it's a lot of rounds ahead of us.
There are going to be fewer turn 3 and 4 kills. That's more work for you.
Where are my dredge people at?
Not
Where are my
here.
storm people at?
Caleb, I don't think is here. You're going to be relying on your Tron friends.
Lava Spike.
Probably,
yeah.
Maybe not many. A lot of Jacerinos.
Yeah. I'll take humans. Humans probably gets a lot worse, though, with Stoneforge Mystic in the picture.
I think it got a little worse, yeah.
Probably got a lot worse.
Speaking of which, let's go searching. Ah, Feast and Famine.
It's time to make the spread. Diversify a little bit.
Diversify your bonds.
Yeah, a little portfolio diversification.
All right, let's see. Giver of Runes. Let's see how this is going to go.
I think if I read his lips correctly, I read pro blue.
Neat. Oh, a little caterpillar. Oh. Okay. Beatdowns. Okay, now we get to untap all our lands, right? Make you discard the Spine. Get back the Ranger. Untap. It feels like a little bit of a lock. Play the Ranger. Trigger. Search. What are we going to dig up? A Hex Drinker. Oh, that's cute.
Really good with untapping all your lands.
You get it. Smart. Bunch of counters on that. Pass.
Doesn't even want to bother a Ranger Captain, I guess.
Nah,
Okay.
upkeep. Getcha. Draw step, whatever. That's turn. That's your turn. Ensnaring Bridge a little late. Game over. Colin Rountree, everybody. We found it. We got it done. Wins this match 2-0 over Chad Raffield. Bant Stoneblade takes care of Sultai Wurza. Miller, we got some work to do on these feature matches.
Todd, get over
we
here
got
now.
some work
Todd,
to do on these feature matches. Yeah.
Get Todd here.
Where is Todd?
Where's Todd? Where's Todd?
This Uber better get rolling. That's what I'm thinking.
Where's Todd?
He's working on it. I know he's working. Overturf's over there. Todd Anderson is in an Uber.
And the upside.
Go
of